Hey guys, it's a Dividend guy coming at you with another Robinhood portfolio update. Happy Thursday. Hopefully everybody's having a GGD, a great green day in the market. You know I always wish the best for my viewers and subscribers. So guys, today we're going to take a look at the overall portfolio. Of course, the portfolio value by the metrics, our buying power, our individual holdings, see how they are performing, see if there are any deals within the portfolio, see if there's anything that is overvalued that I wouldn't touch or wouldn't reinvest dividends into at that point, see if there are any dividends coming in and what I plan on doing with those dividends when they hit the account, as well as the watch list and some stocks that have been on and off. I'll kind of go over that a little bit as well. But I'm always looking for different opportunities, so those are always going to change. Especially if there are some stocks that usually are not on discount that drop. So that's always going to change. But usually I want to stay around, my goal's around 10 to 11 stocks. So usually there's probably going to be a couple that have been there for a while. But that's normal. Not every stock is going to react the same when it comes to tariffs, market corrections, news, etc., earnings reports. They all come at different times within the year. So not every stock is going to be a deal at every minute of the day, right? And that's really an important thing, is patience, right? So I'm trying to be patient with some of these companies because a lot of them, Costco and Berkshire in particular, have been on the watch list for probably almost a year now. And I could just buy them, but I want to buy them at the right price. So jumping in, sitting at $52,000 today, about $52,500, up $300 today, about 0.6% in the green. That 1 week mark, we're up around 770 with a 1.5% gain. 1 month is still bloody, $2,200, 4% loss. This is going to be extremely red. Oh, surprised. But in the green now for the 3 month mark, around 790 bucks, 1.5% in the green. Year to date, even with all the tariff back and forth, all that crap going on, we are still up 2,700 bucks, 5.5% return. That 1 year mark, we're up $10,000, a 23% return. And then all time, we're up $26,000 with a 98% return. So guys, in the short term, with it today, the week, the month, I mean, even year to date, the year even, anything can happen, right? There's news, there's a bunch of earning reports going on right now. So it's not going to be surprising to see see my overall portfolio in the stock market fluctuate. Individual companies will fluctuate based on news, tariffs, earnings reports, whether they make or miss. Sometimes companies make an earnings report and they still go down, right? Because maybe the earnings weren't as great as Wall Street wanted and the stock gets punished. So I think there may be some really good opportunities coming at earnings season. Plus, we still have that tariff kind of news kind of lurking. So overall, I think this could be a phenomenal opportunity to buy quality companies if they go on sale. That's the real key. So the tariff stuff made the stock market tumble. Then it kind of evened out. It's been a little bit volatile. So I'm hoping that we get a couple more, shocks to the market and it drops a bit so I can take advantage. Buying power right now is sitting at $31 even. That is from leftover dividends from last month and Realty Income paying me on the 15th of this month. Speaking of, as of right now, Realty Income went $57.26. 5 shares, around $300 of market value. Average cost is right around 52 bucks per share. 0.5% of the portfolio is in Realty Income. Today we're down 1.3%, down $4. Total we're up 27 bucks with a 10.5% return. Guys, this has been one of the best performers in the entire portfolio. And one of the main reasons, and I don't highlight this enough, that I own Realty Income is because, generally speaking, real estate and companies like Apple, Google, Tesla, Nvidia, etc., tech companies and real estate don't match. They don't react the same way to news. So when the tariffs were announced, all these companies that ship to China or, outsource to China and have to pay these tariffs, Realty Income doesn't have to do that. They own land. They get paid rent here in America. They don't outsource. They have some in Canada, but most of their business, I think it's like 97% of their business or something like that, even if it's 80%, say it's 80% of their business is here in America. So they don't have to worry as much because they're not having to send product out across, state or country borders because they don't have any product that they sell. They literally own buildings and they get paid rent. So this is my way of being a cheap landlord. I'd rather buy a company that owns thousands of properties for 57 bucks than buy a rental property for $50,000, right? So this is my way of being a landlord. Easy peasy, sleep easy at night, shut my eyes and don't have nightmares about my stock market, about my rental property. When it's in the stock market, I know somebody competent is managing my properties. They sit back, kick back, and collect rent. So I love realty income, and eventually I do think it will be able to supplement my income. As of right now, not so much. I did sell out of it last year to pay off all my debt. So that I'm happy about, but I do need to build this position back up to that 10K range. Next up, we've got Altria, 58.67. Now, guys, this has been up, up, up. People tend to smoke during economic uncertainty. It's been very volatile with the tariffs and all these news stories coming out, so I'm not surprised to see the stock up, and they have less of an economic issue because they are based, again, here in America, so they don't have to outsource as much. Philip Morris, on the other hand, does. They do a lot of their business outside of the U.S., so Altria has a little bit of a competitive advantage in this type of environment versus Philip Morris International. Now, overall, I would say just the overall legislation towards smoking is harder here in America, and it's easier outside of the U.S. But when it comes to tariffs in other countries, that's going to affect the other smoking company more than Altria. So 320 shares of this Dividend King, $18,000, almost $19,000 worth of market value. Average cost is around $47 per share. 36% of the portfolio is in Altria. Today we're up $33. Total we're up $3,600 with a 24% return. Dividend coming in at the end of the month on the 30th of $326.40. That will be almost, I think, enough. It should be close. If not, then I'll put like $20 to $30 in the portfolio to just, cover the margin difference. Should be enough to buy me a full share of Apple. And then with whatever is left over, I will buy a share of Google. So I'll be bumping up my dividend income, and I'm super excited about that. Next up, we've got Coca-Cola sitting at $72.66. 15 shares, $1,000 worth of market value, nearly $1,100. Average cost is $60.54. 2% of the portfolio is in Coca-Cola. Today we're down $9. Total we're up $182 with a 20% return. So guys, for a company I get a lot of flack for owning, it is a dinosaur, it does not grow, etc., etc. Apple dropped 15 to 17%. Visa dropped 15 to 17 to 20%. Google dropped 20%. Like, all these high-tech companies that I do agree were great values, and I think their overall growth is, of course, better than Coca-Cola, but this is why I own the stock. Because when economic uncertainty happens, people still drink Coca-Cola, people still drink Pepsi, people still buy Oreos. People still fill up their gas tanks, people still buy pay for their electricity, people still pay for their cell phone. People still need food. So this is one of those, I would say, relatively essential companies. And it's been like that for over 100 years. There's actually a town, Quincy, that I think it was a banker that told all of his clientele that lived there and worked or bank at his institution, told them to buy Coca-Cola shares, and it became one of the richest towns per capita in the entire U.S. because this one banker told the entire town essentially to buy Coca-Cola stock, because he noticed a trend that even when people were broke, they spent their last nickel on a Coca-Cola, on a bottle of Coca-Cola. And he said, you know what? If you're willing to buy it with your last nickel, why don't you buy some shares? Why don't you set some money aside? And because of that, he made so many people rich. So this is one of those, I think it's timeless. I think it's such an iconic brand. I don't think it's going anywhere. 100 years in business, 100 years of domination. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. So I'm going to own Coca-Cola for life. And honestly, I need to do a better job about buying it. It's been up so much that I haven't purchased any. I own more in Coca-Cola merch, I'm sure, than I do in Coca-Cola stock. So I need to bump up my contributions when it comes to this position. Then we got Apple at $207, getting close to my average cost. Still a small buying position here, up $3. We have 12 shares, almost $2,500 now in market value. Average cost is around $220 per share. 4.5% of the portfolio is in Apple. Today we are up $37, down $127, down about 5% here. Guys, Apple's going to be the single biggest position. Anything under my average cost I will be buying. I'm waiting till the 30th. I had a tooth taken out, so the $500 that I spent on my dentist bill would have been 2 shares of Coca-Cola. And honestly, could have almost been 2 shares of Coke and a share of Google this month. So sometimes health stuff pops up, sometimes animal stuff pops up. I got 3 puppies, so 3 doggos. So sometimes life happens, and it's okay to put, stock market investing on the back burner for health reasons, right? Even though I would rather own, 14, 15 shares, 14 shares of Apple, 8 shares of Google instead of getting a tooth ripped out, I'd rather be, not in pain versus richer. So I think that payoff is worth it. Next up, we got AbbVie at 180. So it's going back up again, guys. 95 shares, 17K worth of market value. I think it just wants the number 1 spot back from Altria since it's no longer the biggest position in the portfolio. Average cost is around $95 per share. 32.5% of the portfolio is in AbbVie. Today we're up 261. Total we're up $8,000 with an 88% return. Dividend coming in next month on the 15th, same day as Realty Income. $155.80. That dividend will then go into Google, and depending on the amount the amount of the stock price at the time, I do think that with whatever is left over from Altria, if there is anything left, plus that Realty Income dividend and AbbVie dividend together, plus Apple pays a small dividend this upcoming month as well, should cover, depending on the stock price, should cover another share of Google. So that will be a share of Apple and 2 shares of Google this month, which I'm super excited about. So thank you, AbbVie, for that free share of Google for the rest of my life, as long as you pay that dividend and, Google stays below 150. Next up, we got Visa at 335. This is one of my personal favorites. Second biggest position in the portfolio is the goal. 35 shares, almost $11,700 of market value. Average cost is around $350 per share. 22% of the portfolio is in Visa. Today we're up $22. Total we're down actually $400 with a near 4% loss. So guys, this is a nice buying opportunity here. Small one for Visa, but this one was one of the stocks that got hammered. They went from $360 down to like $300, so $60 per share lost there. Nearly $60 per share lost. And now we're just bumping back up. So in the short term, anything can happen. Let's hope that they have a bad earnings call, something like that. The problem is, guys, I'm more likely right now to buy Apple just because I feel like it's a better value, or Google because I think it's a way better value than Visa. But I would love to buy me some Visa. Next up, we got Google at 160, 7 shares, $1,100 of market value. Average cost is around $190. 2% of the portfolio is in Google. Today we're up $20. Total we're down $190, 14.5% loss. Guys, still a buy here for Google. Definitely the best buy in the portfolio. So, goal for this month is to get me a share of Apple and another share of Google. Will be 13 shares of Apple, 8 shares of Google. Guys, Costco, I want to buy around that. I said below 1,000, so I'd still buy it here. I added Sherwin-Williams because I feel like paint, even though I need to look more into the company, but this is one of those that's been on and off the watch list, and I've thought about on and off camera a lot. Honestly, guys, if I were to add a 10th stock, I would be adding 3 because I have 7 right now. But I do want to add Costco. I do want to add Berkshire. It's between Sherwin-Williams and Pepsi. So if you guys want to list it in the comments which one I should buy, I think Pepsi's a better value right now. I think Pepsi's a phenomenal company, but I'd rather own Coke. So that's my problem, is would I rather just put money into Pepsi, or do I think I'd, just eventually put that money into Coke anyway? That's kind of where I'm at. So, with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember to hit the like button on the video. It does help. Hit the subscribe button if you're new here, guys. I have been posting videos for a long time here on YouTube. I've been investing for over 7 years, so I try to keep it as consistent as possible. Now that my mouth is feeling better, I should be posting every day again. So, also go check out my shorts. I've been doing a lot of shorts. It's a lot easier to talk for 15 seconds than it is for 10 minutes. So, it's been a little easier to do shorts content, but I'm back and I want to do portfolio updates daily again. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another portfolio update. Take care.